What's up, dudes? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Dead by Daylight video. Today we're going to be going through the October Q&A dev stream that literally just ended, for me at least. There was a lot of interesting things brought up, a lot of good questions asked, and a lot of interesting answers given by the devs. So I'm going to be going through the most interesting things talked about and giving my opinions on them. This might be a little bit longer of a video, so I hope you stick around. But before we get into it, I would like to ask you guys, if you are updated, informed, or entertained, please consider hitting that like button. Helps out the video a ton with visibility and it means a lot to me. And also, if you want more Dead by Daylight content like this, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. That really does make a difference, and it's a small click for you that helps out this channel a ton. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump into it. So let's start with the two things that we actually have graphics for. Now, there are some changes from the PTB coming, and this is the Boon Totems and Hex Blood Favor. It says Boon effects no longer stack. This is extremely good, as that made Boon Totems ridiculously good in the PTB. Blessing a Hex Totem now takes 24 seconds, which I think is a little bit much, and I'll explain why as soon as we go over the next one. Boon Radius is reduced to 24 meters, which is another really good change. I disagree with the Blessing taking a massive 24 seconds, because it seems like it would be so much better just to make it take the normal time to bless a totem, and then just make it a 2 or 3 time use. Hex Totems are only usable one time in a game. Yes, they start from the beginning of the match, but as soon as they're broken by a survivor, they're gone for the rest of the match. So instead of making it take almost a quarter, maybe a quarter of a full solo gen, you know, just make it take the normal amount of time and give the survivors 2 or 3 uses. If they give each survivor 2 uses, that's 8 uses in a game, and I think that's incredibly good still yet. Next up, we have Hex Blood Favor. I think we all knew that Hex Blood Favor was going to be changing. Hex Blood Favor now activates on damage stakes, which means Trickster's one knife to actually activate Hex Blood Favor is no longer a thing, and Hex Blood Favor is now based on the survivor's position. Not entirely sure what that means. I guess it's just going to block pallets within the vicinity, or maybe just that one pallet that the survivor's at. That is actually a pretty big nerf if that's the case. And the next thing we got is that every original survivor will be getting Twitch streamer shirts. So I'm pretty sure these only apply to people who are content creators, who are Twitch streamers, more specifically I'd say, but every survivor will now be getting a Twitch streamer shirt. So if you're a content creator with, I guess, a good number of not survivors, but followers and viewers and everything, then you'll be able to wear a shirt on whichever character that you play that is original. And these will be coming for future original survivors too, so it's not just the survivors we got, it's going to be coming for all of them. And now we move into what we don't have graphics for, so I'll do my best without them. We do have Ghostface and Legion reworks coming eventually. Both are in early stages, but more specifically, Patrick did say that Legion's add-ons would be the main point of focus for him, and they really didn't go into detail for Ghostface, but I am excited to know that both of these characters are getting a rework in some type of way, whether it's add-ons, whether it's power, whatever. I feel like these are two of the more interesting killers in the game that are just too weak and too outdated in my opinion. Next up, we have no update on the Pinhead voice lines. We still don't know a damn thing about what happened to those, where they're at, and when they're going to be back, or if they're going to be back. Very disappointing, as that was a lot of people's favorite thing about the character in the PTB. That was one of the selling points for the character in my opinion, and I felt like that made him very unique in Dead by Daylight, but who knows, maybe they'll come back. Next, we have skill-based matchmaking info. SBMM is confirmed to be capped at 1900, and there are no plans to show the MMR rating. Now, this was one of the most controversial parts of this Q&A dev stream for me, as it really does seem like the devs are 100% solid in their decisions and are willing to take no advice or feedback when it comes to skill-based matchmaking. I love BHVR, but they do have a history for being very, very conceited and thinking that nothing that they do could possibly have the potential to be bad. And in my opinion, skill-based matchmaking is bad. The fact that there is a cap so low as 1900 with you starting at 1100 is terrible, and with it being so easy to get to 1900, plus what actually qualifies as a win is a little backwards, but I'm sure Dowsy and Scott are going to make full videos about that are going to cover that very, very well. So watch out for them on those. And probably one of the most interesting things of the dev stream is they said never say never to a giant spider or monster killer. This was something in the past that we've covered, we've talked about in concept videos and theory and speculation videos about a giant spider or a monster killer coming to the game. Previously, the devs have said that they aren't going to do any non-humanoid killers for this game. But one of the devs, Justin, did say today never say never. So we can keep our eyes out. I would keep an eye out for the Evan McMillan tome archive from the Observer, where we did see the giant spider there. And then we have the Michael Myers stalking music possibly returning for the killer side. If you guys don't know, back when Myers first came out, he did have stalking music, and that was taken away for some reason or another. I don't really remember why, but there was a possibility, and Patrick did actually write this down on the stream, so I think it's a good possibility that we could see it return. And along with that, more unique killer chase music is coming. Now, whether they're going to go back and do it for all of the killers, or whether they're just talking about going forward and every killer that comes out is going to get unique killer chase music, we don't really know, but I would love to see them go back. I think they did mention going back to past killers and actually adding chase music, which is great. And the final thing is they talked about bridging the gap between Survive with Friends and solo queue survivors. I think this is one of the more controversial things that they could talk about, especially without the preface saying that they're going to be nerfing Survive with Friends to actually better the solo queue survivors. I think them buffing solo queue survivors where they have some more information and they have some more to compete along the lines of Survive with Friends, I think that's great. I think that's what the game needs. But also along the same lines, I feel like Survive with Friends does need to be toned down to accommodate that. Now, whether they're actually going to do that or whether they're just going to be like, to hell with it, let's just roll with how it is and buff the hell out of solo queue survivors, we don't really know. I really hope they take a look at that. This is something that has been talked about for years and something that really has needed to be done for years, and it's good that they're finally looking into it. I just hope they look into it the right way. But that is the most important things, in my opinion, from this dev stream. There could be many separate videos made talking about this, especially when it came to the whole conversation about skill-based matchmaking, because the joke was made that it was a TED Talk, and it basically did turn into like a 10-minute TED Talk that really showed how out of touch the devs can be when it comes to the community and what the community want and how the community feels about something. I feel like this is a prime example of that. I guess we'll see. I really hope skill-based matchmaking does get messed with. I really hope they take some community advice when it comes to it, because I've seen barely anybody excited or okay with skill-based matchmaking in the way it's currently implemented. I don't think skill-based matchmaking is a bad idea, but I think the way they've implemented it as of right now is very badly. But that's just my opinion, I guess. But I do want you guys to let me know what you think about all this in the comments down below. I'm very interested to hear what you guys have to say. Let's have a conversation about it. But that is going to do it for me, dudes. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. My name is Tugan. I've been your host. I'll see you dudes next time. Peace out.